A new bill in the state of Rhode Island has just been passed that will require that 100% of all of the electricity sold in that state come from renewable sources by the year 2033. The Illinois Commerce Commission has just announced processes that will streamline the integration of solar into the grid. And Fort Bragg, North Carolina has announced a 1.1 megawatt floating solar array. I'm Jay Warmke with Blue Rock Station, and this is the news from solar for the week of June 13th. Now, a new bill within Rhode Island, as mentioned, will seek to have 100% of all of the electricity sold in that state coming from renewable sources by the year 2033. Currently, there is a requirement that solar and wind or renewable sources increase by 1.5% per year through 2035. This new bill that has recently passed will accelerate this process, seeking to have 100% by 2033. The Illinois Commerce Commission has just announced changes in the rules for interconnecting large utility scale systems to the grid in an effort to address some of the long periods of backlog in getting these systems connected. Now, some of the rules that they're changing is in the past, what's prompted a lengthy study on how much a system would impact the grid is based on the size of the array. But more and more of these systems are incorporating batteries, and so they're not exporting all of that power to the grid, which would have less of an impact on the system. So they're now going to change the rules to look not just at the size of the array, but how much power are they actually exporting. Another thing that they're requiring is that there be more transparency in the process. In the past, utilities could simply object to the system being integrated. Often the applicant had no understanding why. There was very little transparency as to what the issues were that their system was causing. So they're changing that, requiring the utilities to be more transparent. And they're also requiring that there be a process to address any of the issues that the utilities raise, which in the past has not been as easy as perhaps it should have been. Briggs & Stratton last year acquired Simplify, a battery manufacturing company, and this new Briggs & Stratton Simplify partnership has announced the release of their first home battery system that integrates with solar. They're going to be releasing a 4.9 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery that will be used in home solar systems. Fort Bragg, North Carolina, an Army base there, has announced that they have just completed a 1.1 megawatt photovoltaic system. Now, photovoltaics is solar that is installed on top of a water body. This particular water body is the Big Muddy Lake located at this facility. It is the largest floating solar array in the southeastern United States. Will be paired with a 2 megawatt hour battery bank in an effort that the Army base is saying is looking towards energy resiliency and energy independence from the grid. Currently, about 2% of all solar installations in the US are photovoltaic systems. A global solar paint marketing forecast has just been released by Tech Science Research. Now, solar paint is a new technology. It's not currently available at a commercial level yet, but it holds a great deal of promise in which they mix photovoltaic particles, and those are then mixed with paint, and they are placed either silk screened on or painted on a surface. Could be a roof, could be a wall, could be a window, or even an automobile. Now, they integrate several technologies here. There's quantum dot technology, which is an option. There's also perovskite materials. And essentially what will happen in the future is any surface that can receive paint will or potentially could be an energy generating source. REC Silicon has announced that not only will they be producing solar modules in the United States at their facilities that they recently announced, but they're going to source the polysilicon from U.S. mines, and production facilities. Currently, China produces about 80% of all of the polysilicon that is used in solar panels and microchips across the globe. There are mines operating in the U.S. in Alabama, Montana, Michigan, and Tennessee. And REC is saying that they're going to be sourcing theirs locally within the United States to deal with the supply chain issues we've been facing. And the U.S. government has announced that they're dropping the cost of leasing public lands for solar and wind. In fact, they've decreased these as much as 62% to those people who wish to lease these lands. Essentially, what the U.S. government has said in the past, they had to receive a 5.7% rate of return on these leases, and they've dropped that to 2%. That's the news from solar for this week. We'll see you next week.